Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certifact Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearance of the Week. This is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. We'll be giving you all the first appearance in your comic shops today. Now this week we have a pretty light video for you guys. I think we only have 2 first appearances, 4 honorable mentions, so only 6 titles on to go through, but there's definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearance of the week ending May 17th, 2024. First up from Marvel Comics, Star Wars Mace Windu number 4. This features the first appearance of the Shroud. Now, we always mention this with the Marvel published Star Wars titles. It's always worth picking up these issues when there's the first appearance of a new character. You know, Marvel Disney is still churning on a ton of media for the small screen and big screen, and you really don't know where any of these characters that are introducing in the comics may end up. You know, if they hit the screen, people will race back to the comics and try to find the first appearances. So anytime there's a first appearance of a new character, new weapon, new artifact, anything in these Marvel published Star Wars titles, you know, for the cover price, these are definitely worth the risk picking up. If they go nowhere, you're out just a couple bucks. But you know, if they become huge, these could really blow up in price. So it's definitely worth picking these up in our opinion. So grab this one here for your collection. And lastly, from Marvel Comics, Venom Separation Anxiety number 1. This features the first appearance of the King in Purple, a villain with the ability to take bits of the Venom symbiote away every time the two touched. Now, anytime there's a first appearance of a new character in a Marvel title, in our opinion, these are books you definitely want to add to your collection. And you know, the Venom franchise, hugely popular, huge fan base, huge collector base, and this is part of the Spider-Man universe, of course. And you know, the Spider-Man franchise, probably the largest and most heavily collected franchise for Marvel Comics. So in Venom, anytime they introduce a new character, these are books, in our opinion, you want to pick up. So go ahead and grab this one here for your collection. And now for the honorable mentions. From Scout Comics, Mission Appleseed number 1. This is the story of humanity's post-apocalyptic Hail Mary mission to seed the universe, which turns out to be a centuries-long hoax designed to perpetuate humanity on a poisoned Earth. Our heroes must break into the source of the experiment to replicate a cure and free themselves from the grip of an omnipotent AI. Now, we put this one on the list because this is the premiere issue of this new series by Scout Comics, and Scout Comics has had a lot of their titles picked up an option in the past for small screen and big screen projects. And if these stories get optioned, that's a huge price driver for these Scout titles. You know, not everyone carries the Scout Comics, so they definitely don't have a high print run, and the distribution is much lower than some of the mainstream titles. So these Scout titles, in our opinion, are definitely worth specking on. Grab it for a spec if you can. If you can't, put in your B-list, but definitely keep an eye on this one. Next up from Dark Horse, Heart Piercer number 1. This is a dark fantasy about a betrayed warrior who awakens in a dark world overrun by nightmares. Now, Dark Horse is another one that's had a lot of their titles picked up an option for small screen and big screen projects. Even if they don't make it to the screen, just being an option alone, that's typically enough catalyst to get these prices really moving upward. And you know, once they do, collectors do race back to the secondary market and try to find these here premier issues. So once again, this is going to be speculative if you choose to pick it up, because you are specking on this getting picked up an option, get a lot more eyes on this title, getting collectors to race back to the secondary market to try to find this book. So this one here is speculative, but once again, Dark Horse Comics, in our opinion, it's always worth specking on. So grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. Next up from Dark Horse Comics, Masters of the Universe Revolution number 1. This is a 4-issue team-up of Hordak and Skeletor in the early days of the villain's rise to power. Now, we put this one here on the list, not necessarily because we think this is going to get picked up an option, but because, you know, the He-Man, the Master of the Universe franchise, incredibly popular, huge fan base, huge collector base, and these collectors are really loyal to this franchise. And the fact that this here is a very limited 4-issue run, you know, we don't really expect a lot of stores to carry this, and we don't really expect this to be heavily printed. So these are definitely big catalysts for price movement in the future. Anytime there's a new series that comes out for the Master of the Universe franchise, we do recommend picking them up for a spec. There's still a lot of nostalgia buyers out there. Like I said, Master of the Universe is still incredibly popular. So grab this one here for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it on your B-list and take a look at it later on. And finally, from Marvel Comics, Ultimate X-Men number 3. This features the origin of Maystorm. Now, as you guys know, this Ultimate series from Marvel Comics, incredibly popular, huge success. You know, all the number 1s have sold out, a lot of them going back for second printings. This one here doesn't feature the first appearance of a new character, but this does feature the origin of Maystorm. So once again, we do think this is probably worth picking up. It's definitely not going to be as desirable as a first appearance, but still, you know, these origin stories in these highly popular series, in our opinion, they're worth owning for $3 or $4. So this one here will be a little more speculative, but in our opinion, it's a great spec. So grab it for a spec if you can. If you can't, though, put it in your B-list and take a look at it later on. So there you have the 6 titles we have for you guys this week. There's definitely some books in there worth picking up for your collection. So please feel free to drop some comments in the comment section below. Thumbs up if you like this video. As always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.